Extra days spent in prison by inmates, and it's going to wind up costing you.
How many extra days the prisoner spent and why?
Good evening, everybody. Joe has the night off. Our top story tonight, inmates forced to stay longer in prison, and it's not because they've done anything wrong while serving their time.
Their attorney says the state isn't doing a good enough job of keeping track, so now taxpayers are on the hook to pay a large sum of money. Manolo Morales explains in tonight's top story. Manolo.
Marissa and Howard, it's not just a few extra days. We're talking about months at a time that the inmates overstayed, and taxpayers are footing the bill in more ways than one.
349 days and 365, 219 days.
Attorney Myles Breiner has 4 cases pending against the state for what's known as inmate overstay. The lawsuits say that altogether, all 4 inmates spent more than 1,000 days past their release date.
You'd think that given the digital age that we're in, that we would be able to account for inmate time. Unfortunately, we have an antiquated system that we use in Hawaii. Someone writes down a piece of paper, the number of hours and days someone's in custody.
It's a problem that's costing state taxpayers in at least a couple of different ways. There's the additional money of housing and feeding the inmates all those extra days, as well as the money the state will have to pay because of these lawsuits. A study done 2 years ago estimates that it costs the state $140 a day to keep each prisoner locked up. The 4 inmates who filed a lawsuit overstayed 1,029 days, which amounts to more than $144,000 in additional costs. As for the cost from the lawsuit, Breiner says it could be millions of dollars, although he's still negotiating with the state.
All our discussions with the state have been, frankly, insulting. The notion that someone's life could be reduced to pennies on the dollar, that doesn't work.
Breiner says there are likely more cases out there, and a key lawmaker says he's right.
Because of fear and retaliation, they're not suing the state, and they do not want to come forward, but there are other individuals who have been held beyond the sentencing timeline. Representative
Luke says it's troubling and plans to ask Department of Public Safety officials what's being done about it. Now, a spokeswoman from DPS sent a statement saying the staff goes through extensive training to ensure timely releases, but they acknowledge that human errors occur and they continue to work on procedural improvements. Marissa.